Hey guys, this is Savage Buddha. Welcome to the Bright Light Zone. Today we're going to talk about why the spiritual path is not the easy path. The most common misconceptions about the spiritual path that I encounter is that the spiritual way of life is somehow the easy way of life or the easy way out. Too often people just catch glimpses of what living spiritually is really like while they're searching for their own answers to life's questions or trying to find help with an issue they're dealing with or trying to help others with their own issues. They see people who look at the world in different light, who embrace life's lessons and are grateful for every experience they receive. They're at peace with themselves and others, always with a smile on their face, spreading happiness and joy in everything and with everyone they encounter. Once they take notice of this, they also desire to have this way of life with us. Seeing these attributes and others can give a false idea of an easier life on the spiritual path, which we all know is a rough road, but one that's totally worth it.
Hold up. Let's break that down.
When you start this journey of understanding self and this universe on a deeper level, you come to the realization rather quickly, really, that almost everything that you thought you knew or were taught growing up either wasn't right at all or was just the most basic concepts of how this life really works. And that's a hard blow to take. No doubt it was for me. Some things become just more beautiful than ever, but then there are others that literally floor you. Learning that everything you've experienced in your life was created by you through choices, thought forms, and actions. So many of us have been trapped by our own minds and emotions, but when we open ourselves up to something else, something comes along with it that was unexpected, and just a feeling of peacefulness and just oneness with others and everything in existence. That's one of the great gifts social conditioning and egoic perception has kept hidden from all of us, really. Learning about ourselves is a roller coaster ride of experiences and realizations. I wouldn't have it any other way, though. Would you? I mean, come on. We're here to experience, to learn, to love, and to grow. We know we were going to have to learn certain things before we even incarnated here. Each one of us has different obstacles and lessons that we're going to go through throughout this crazy ride that help mold our beliefs. And a lot of us have started this out seeing number sequences. I know mine started that way years ago, and they haven't stopped since then. There's all kinds of patterns the universe will send you messages through and clues. When you notice these patterns of manifestation that create your reality, it helps raise that awareness level, and you start creating on your own. Our existence has one great sense of humor. I know y'all have seen it. I know y'all have. Whatever journey you're on, know that you're not alone. Sometimes it may seem like there's no one to talk to about these wild experiences and insights. Any of you, feel free to message me anytime about anything y'all want to talk about. I'm always here. Hearing your ideas and thoughts out loud can bring about new understandings and deeper meanings. All of a sudden, you're confident and comfortable in your belief systems, all the dots start connecting and everything just feels right. It feels perfect and it makes sense. You start intuitively being able to visualize your reality before you create it. And it works exactly as you knew it would every single time, which can be a blessing and a curse depending on how you perceive these events. The spiritual path will never be the easy path, but to me, it's the only path.
It's the road less traveled, and that's because of difficulties and lessons that we experience. Each of us learn from these experiences in our own personal way. So let's talk about a few of the reasons why the spiritual path is not the easy path. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to talk about is the judgment and shunning of your family and loved ones. We all start to develop a deeper understanding of life and ourselves as we go through this path, and our once long held beliefs and structures are going to crack and shatter and reform, and we find our own truths, one that resonates with our inner being and who we really are. This brings us joy and relief and happiness, and we all feel like our loved ones are going to be happy for us also. But it also brings confusion and fear to the ones we care about, because they don't understand exactly what it is that's taking place inside of us. Since they do not understand, it causes them to be so fearful that they ultimately judge us for this. This is very difficult to cope with at first, but remember, your path is not their path, and eventually most of them, they're going to come around once they realize that the path you're on is making you a better you. You're bettering society, you're just bettering the world in general. You're changing the world. That's what you're doing with this. People are always afraid of what they can't explain, but continue your journey, leaving love, compassion, light wherever you go. Always. Love, always, and in all ways. And if your friends or so-called family, the ones that love you, don't understand and they still want to judge you or talk down on you, then that should tell you right there that they're not part of your divine plan. They were there to show you what you needed to learn, or for you to show them what they needed to learn, and now it's time for that cord to be cut. Another reason that this spiritual path is not the easy path at all is that the darker parts of reality in this life are going to become a lot more clear to all of you. Love, compassion go hand in hand with the spiritual path. Really, it's the mortar that sticks the universal truths together. Even with all the love flowing from your heart, the dark parts of life are not going to dissipate. Yet it's true that you are going to become more powerful as you become more aware and become more in tune with your inner being. And that's going to become noticeable in the world and in the people around you. But if preparation and understanding of these spiritual teachings, practices, and awareness are not attained, it can be very disheartening, depressing, and an overwhelming desire to help the world and others will constantly be in your thoughts and on your mind. But how can you change the world. You're just one person, right? Of course you are. It's quite simple, though. By being the change that you wish to see in the world. That's the simplest way that I can put it. Keep raising your awareness and radiating love into the collective consciousness. It'll be hard at times to realize you are making a huge difference, but others will see the change in you, and it will cause them to seek their own answers too, which in turn is going to create more awakening. It's going to slowly make these darker parts of reality dissipate, and even though you're going to notice them and they're going to be clearer because you are aware, you're going to be more focused on the hope, the help of changing this world, of making it better and helping us and this world ascend to the next level of being. Remember, you guys, you are not alone on this path, even though, gosh, I know it may seem like it a lot, that you're just by yourself trying to swim uphill in a river of concrete, believe me. But as you keep focusing on raising your awareness and spreading truth and love and light into this world, the collective consciousness of humanity is going to raise. And really, can there be a better change for the world than that? Another reason that the spiritual path is not such an easy path is our egos are going to cast doubts and try to detour us for sure. The mind and our thoughts have so much influence over the way we feel, the karmic lessons that we go through and manifest, among other things. While you continue further on your journey, it's not just the doubt and the judgment of others that's going to strike at you. Our egos are not our amigos, okay? I'm sure you've heard that before. They can cause just as much pain and suffering, if not more than anything else in the world that we're going to encounter. Doubts, resentment, and fears, all of these can slow or stop progress if not dealt with in the right way, with the right spiritual practices. And depending on, who you are personally, your astrological sign, your heritage, all that, there are certain spiritual practices individually that you can take to help raise your awareness and calm that ego down. You're not going to get rid of it. You just want to eventually train it to where it works for you and the common good of raising this awareness. We have all had thoughts come into our minds that are so horrendous sounding and horrible, we start to question whether we're really good people or not, just because of these thoughts popping into our heads. We must know that we are not our thoughts or our minds, okay? I'm going to say that again. You and I are not our thoughts. We are the one that is observing and aware of the thoughts as they come into being. We must know that what our minds say and the thoughts that the ego projects are not who we truly are. Listening to and following the mind can have very disastrous effects on our lives if your ego and those thoughts are not in balance with your being. By being aware of your thoughts, and as separate entity, as your awareness grows, especially of the ego and yourself and those thoughts, you start to retrain that part to work in connection with the living, loving, divine spirit that is the real you. There is only one being and one soul down here, the source, which is you, me, everyone and everything in existence, okay? Train your thoughts and you can change how you feel. Change how you feel. Now that is what changes lives. There are other issues you may deal with, of course. These are just a few of the ones that I've experienced personally that I wanted to share with you. What kind of others have you experienced and overcome, and how did you do it? I would love hearing from you guys and getting feedback. I love hearing from anyone that's on this path, especially fans. So please leave some feedback so you can help others, okay? With love and unity to all of you and everyone in existence. Honestly, I love you all. It's the Snippet out for the right.
Right,